So today's video is going to be a little bittersweet. It's actually my last time recording at this studio, or my basement, I guess. This is where I filmed so much of my content, some courses, and just spent a lot of time down here filming different videos and instructionals and stuff. And my wife and I actually are moving to a new house, and of course the kids are moving too. But this is just a little bit of what the basement looks like right now. It's like a hot mess, and we're just in the process of moving. But I wanted to do one more video down here, and just thought it was a really good question I saw I wanted to kind of get into. But again, it's been fun filming down here and recording down here, and just making so much content and being creative and doing stuff. So thank you guys for tuning into the video, and let's get into it. So I saw an interesting question on switching BJJ schools. So the question is from a 1 stripe blue belt, and they've recently moved areas. The school they switched to doesn't do stripes for colored belts. So it feels weird that they go in there and they already have a 1 stripe on their, they're already a 1 stripe blue belt. So they're asking basically, should they remove the stripe or just leave it? They don't want to be disrespectful to the new school or seem out of place. So awesome question, and I actually have a very similar story. So when I first started training, I'm at Chewy's gym at Derby City MMA. But before I started there, I was at another gym for about 2 years. And that other gym didn't do stripes for white belts. So it's kind of the reverse, right? They didn't do stripes for white belts. They actually had a belt test for a green belt. So you basically do some of these specific self-defense techniques and specific, curriculum that they had. And if you pass, you'd get your green belt. And the green belt was like the equivalent of a 2-stripe white belt. So I was there for about 2 years, and the gym closed, so I switched to another gym, Chewy's gym. And so I had a green belt. So green belts are reserved for teens and like youth competitors. So I show up as an adult. I'm in my late 20s, mid to late 20s, and I show up with a green belt on. So everybody's kind of looking at me like I'm crazy a little bit. So I wore it the first class, and maybe even for the second class, and I was just like, everybody's just kind of looking at me why I'm wearing a green belt. So I did have a white belt, when I started, but I got this green belt because I belt tested for it. And I had some attachment to the green belt. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, man, I earned this thing. I did a belt test. I learned a bunch of techniques. So I can kind of see where this blue belt is coming from. They're like, hey, I earned this stripe. Although it's a piece of tape, and people are like, man, it's just a piece of tape. Take it off. It meant something to you. You feel like you earned it. You worked hard for it, and it's something that exhibits your progress and shows that you're progressing in jiu-jitsu and improving. So I understand kind of the connection to that little piece of tape. So what I did was, I actually, after a couple classes, I kind of went to Chewy, and I was like, who's my coach? And I was like, hey man, do you think I should just take this green belt off and just throw my white belt back on? He's like, yeah, we don't do green belts, so yeah, it'd be fine if you just kind of, I think he left it up to me, really, from what I remember. But honestly, he's like, just throw your white belt back on if you want. It's no big deal, and we'll go from there. And so I did, and I was back to being a no stripe white belt. But I had some experience. So it was kind of fun being a no stripe white belt for a little bit. But I got a couple stripes at the next promotion, I think, and I didn't want to stick out like a sore thumb or anything like that. I wanted to kind of be part of the team and go with the curriculum and the belt system that they had, because that was my gym now, and that's what I wanted to adhere to. So I understand the connection to the stripe and like the acknowledgement and the earning of that. However, I think if you're not sure if your gym is gonna be okay with you having a stripe, and when nobody else that's an upper belt or like a colored belt has a stripe, I would just talk to the coach and say, hey, is it a problem that I have this stripe on my belt? Is it something that you feel like I need to take off of my belt, or are you okay with me having it? And they should be honest with you. They'll probably, that most of the times they won't care, but if they do, it's not a big deal. You just take it off and go on your way, keep training. I mean, really, you've got plenty of belts to get down the line, and I think just the belts are a good acknowledgement of your progress. But as you get to purple and brown, the belts kind of you don't really do it for the belts and the stripes and things like that. You just kind of do it because you love training jiu-jitsu and the experience and the connection and, you know, the crew that you train with and just the, you know, all the benefits that come with jiu-jitsu. So from my opinion, if it was me, I'd say just talk to the coach and see if they're cool with it. And if they're okay with you leaving your stripe on your belt, then leave it on if you want to. And if they're not, you know, that's not a big deal either. You know, it's just one of those things where that's the system that they adhere to, and not a big deal either way. So the most important thing is that you're coming in and you're training and you're getting good experience and you're enjoying your time at this gym, and the belts will come and, you know, the stripes will come, probably maybe not this gym, but, you know, the belts will come. Just keep on training, and hopefully that's helpful to you. In my experience, can give you a little bit of insight into maybe what you can do or kind of how to address this issue. So again, thank you guys for checking out the video, and I'll see you guys at the new spot. Talk to you next time.